Hi, I'm Ben Harper.
Hey, this is Brad Lukowicz. Hey, this is Lou Temple. You know me as Axel on The Walking Dead.
This is Smooth Bester Henderson.
Hi, this is William Duvall, singer of Alice in Chains.
Hi, this is Jim Cuddy from Blue Rodeo.
Hi, I am Zach Ward.
Hey guys, it's Alexis Ajoria, 7-time NHRA National Event Champion.
Hey, what's going on? This is Bubbles.
This is Ricky. This is Julian.
And you're listening to the Toddcast podcast, baby.
When was the last time you went to a pro sports game like hockey, football, basketball, soccer? You know, it was weird over COVID, hey? The fake crowd noise, like brutal. Nobody in the stands. I mean, happy to see that's in the rearview mirror. You know, we do our best every year, my family, to make it to a handful of games. Of course, fairly expensive, but mostly it's the Canucks and the Whitecaps. My kids play ice hockey, micro footy, so it's kind of their sports of choice. And quite honestly, the best bang for your buck is soccer. Great atmosphere, the game and the action is top notch. So it's pretty cool to have grabbed Whitecaps FC goalkeeper Thomas Hasal as a guest of the podcast this week.
First soccer memory would be probably U4, U5, like raining pitch, just running up, like being a defender and the coach telling you can run up and go up. I think that's my earliest memory of the game.
Joining Whitecaps goalkeeper Thomas Hasal this week is certified sex therapist Dr. Emily Jamea.
I was studying psychology in my undergraduate program, and I took a human sexuality elective, and I just found it to be really fascinating.
Pretty good week, if I do say so myself. You'll hear from a Grammy award-winning Latin artist, our musical guest this episode, in just a minute. Coming up shortly, maybe 10, 15 minutes, in Stop Me If You've Heard This Before, retired NHL goaltender, one of the best to do it, former Edmonton Oilers netminder Grant Fuhr, talking about being inducted into the Hockey Hall of Fame. That is powered by our friends at Puff. Did you know that you can get 20% off regularly priced cannabis accessories and apparel with the code TODCAST in store and online through puff.ca? So puff, pass that code along to all your 420 friendly buddies. First, our first guest of three, this week's musical guest, Grammy Award winner for Best Latin Pop Album at this year's ceremonies, Alex Cuba. That is brought to you by Pineapple Sound, a recording and mixing studio in Langley since 2013. They do welcome podcasts beyond bands, of course, voiceover actors, and a lot more. Anything you can do in a recording studio. And they'll even rent out the entire facility to you. If you're interested in that, talk to Dave through pineapplesound.com. Now, Alex Cuba recorded his award-winning Mendo album at his home in Smithers, up in northern BC, moving to Canada after growing up in Cuba, just outside of Havana.
When I was growing up and stuff in Cuba, so many, I don't even remember. For some reason, the thing that I remember the most was the moment that I have the first encounter, let's put it that way, with an electric bass. And that takes me back to that concert that I saw. A band from Havana came to my town. I am from a town about 50 minutes, about an hour outside of Havana City. It's called Artemisa. In Cuba, it's considered, of course, the country, right?
Sure.
It's not even a suburb, it's the country. It's like 80,000 people town. So this band, I think it was La Orquesta Revés, a popular band from Cuba, came to my town, and that was the first time I was between 11 and 13 years old.
Oh, young.
And so this, saw this electric bass, and I said to my dad, "What the hell is that?" And he's like, "Oh, that's an electric bass." And he's like, "You like it?" And I'm like, "No, I like it. No, I want one now." And so my dad did whatever he needed to do, moving, everything on his path to make it happen. And he got me a bass. A month later, I had a bass in my hands, and I began there. And that was the point of no return for me in music.
And talk about a cool story. I mean, you've heard musicians on this podcast over the last couple of years talking about what a drag COVID was and how hard it was to find inspiration during the pandemic. I mean, they straight up lost creativity, which is not the case with Alex Cuba.
I've been saying on my shows, the ones that I just started playing recently down in the Okanagan, and I did 2 shows with the symphony, et cetera, et cetera. And I've been saying that, I almost felt bad when I started saying it, but then I realized that maybe something that people want to hear, people need to hear, is that not everything was bad out of the pandemic, for me, at least for me, right? And I'm sure for many other people. But I'm saying that because in my case, the pandemic, when cheering was impossible, everything was stay in your house, we don't know, what's going to happen next. I'm not going to say that I was, like so strong, whatever. No, the beginning of it was, for me, was kind of intense when the idea of such amount of uncertainty started sinking into my mind. I had a little bit of a tough time at the beginning, but then something happened that allowed me to switch to my creative side and really embrace that,
I think we talked with Alex for just over half an hour. You can hear it now at our iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud. You can see it at our YouTube account as well. They're all at Toddcast Podcast. We talked family, the shows that he was binge watching. We talked baseball and karate, bodybuilding came up. And of course, the career highlight of winning a Grammy.
Well, it is definitely the biggest prize that music has all over the world. It's the biggest award for music. And just in the personal, what I think once in a while is, man, this is the award that heroes, people that I look up to, people that have changed the course of music, like, I don't know, Michael Jackson, Earth, Wind and Fire, you name it, right? And I'm like, this is the same award again, because it's the American Grammy. And in Latin music, it's the biggest category, So to win for a dude from Cuba that emigrated to Canada 23 years ago, that came to Smithers almost 20 years ago, that recorded this album in his living room, to win this thing down there is mentally dangerous. Let's just put it that way. It's mentally dangerous.
And you're going to love how Alex found out that he won that Grammy Award for the Best Latin Pop Album while driving through a snowstorm just outside of Quesnel in northern BC.
I made the decision to drive during the hours that I knew the Grammys were going to be happening, because my publicist, like an hour before or two, forward to me the program, how it was going to run.
Yep.
And I knew, so I said to myself, let me drive so that I'm not glued to the screen of my phone, right? Because otherwise I would have been like this, the whole
Sure, understandably, yeah.
Yeah, and so we start, and we're approaching Quesnel, and the phones go out of service, I guess, all of that, and it starts snowing, and I'm like, man, I could have been now in Vegas, of course, instead we're here returning to winter. It totally felt like we were going back to winter.
Yeah.
And suddenly the phones, got back on service, and all of a sudden the phone rings in the car. I had it connected to the Bluetooth in the car. I answered. I didn't recognize the number, because sometimes it doesn't tell you the name of the person, just the number. And we are all, who remembers numbers? Yeah. But anyway, yeah. It was my publicist. It was my publicist from New York, who has been trying to get in touch with me for the last, 10 minutes, right? And I'm like, hey, what's up? And he's like, I need you to send me a quote for the media. And I'm like, hey, well, hold on a minute. What are you talking about? Oh, you don't know? No, we don't know what. I said, you won. Oh, my God.
Nice, dude.
When he said, he started screaming. We started screaming through the car. I've been saying I'm proud that I kept the car on the road, because it was a really freaky, surreal moment, And then we were like 10 minutes out, and he said, I need you to park now and send me a quote right away, because we need to spread the news. So we stopped in Quesnel, and my son was sleeping in the back seat, and I woke him up and said, hey, what's up? I just won a Grammy. And he started screaming too. And then it was a super surreal moment. It's like, oh my God, it's the first time that anything like that happens to me in my life.
Musical guests of the Toddcast podcast are powered by Pineapple Sound, providing recording and mixing services for a wide range of artists and genres since 2013. Check them out at pineapplesound.com.
beats like a metronome. Oh, it's hard to find peace of mind. This happens all the time. Lie awake, begs for days. It's in the games we play that throw me off to who you are. This happens every single time. I'm tired of the things you say. I tried but couldn't walk away. Got caught up in your gravity. Keeps getting worse. Keeps getting worse. Call me on the way home. Baby, we could get some. If that's all you wanted, it's never gonna last long. Oh, it's hard to find peace of mind. This happens all the time. Lie awake, legs for days. It's in the games we play that throw me off to who you are. This happens every single time. I'm tired of the things you say. I tried but couldn't walk away. Got caught up in your gravity. Keeps getting worse. Keeps getting worse. Give the fuck up, it's getting worse. Keeps getting worse. Keeps getting worse. Keeps getting worse. Shut up. I'm tired of the things you say. I tried but couldn't walk away. Got caught up in your gravity. Keeps getting worse. Keeps getting worse. I'm tired of the things you say. I tried but couldn't walk away. Got caught up in your gravity. Keeps getting worse. 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 Keeps getting worse.
Nude Vodka Soda powers the Toddcast podcast. Sugar and sweetener free with just 100 calories and 0 carbs per serving. Visit them online at nudebeverages.com. And now, stop me if you've heard this before on the Toddcast podcast.
When you talk about the best goaltenders to have played in the NHL, retired Edmonton Oilers goaltender, amongst others, Grant Fuhrer has to be in the conversation. Hockey Hall of Famer, 2003, brilliant in the 80s with the Oilers, helping destroy teams on the way, 5 Stanley Cups, played in 6 All-Star games. He's elite in all aspects. Truly, you cannot get much better. And when Grant was a guest, we talked about all things hockey, as you might expect, like his first memory, playing with Gretzky, Messier, Curry, Anderson, realizing your true potential, how he's had his jersey retired. We got into his thoughts on legalized marijuana, Deadpool, and the superpower of X-ray vision. Binge-watching NCIS and horror movies came up. So did rivals in the NHL and how hard it was for him to retire. And stop me if you've heard this before. Grant talked about being inducted into the Hockey Hall of Fame.
A nice individual accolade for being lucky enough to play on good teams. And it shows you're a part of good teams.
What still stands out from the day you're inducted to the Hall of Fame?
Probably that you actually have to stand there and make a speech. I'm not one for speeches, so right. That was the hard part, because you're standing there and you don't want to forget anybody.
Right.
There's so many people that help you along the way that you just want to make sure you don't forget anyone.
And how many times is it Lisa is your wife? How many times did you run that by her?
Actually, we were married at that time, so
Okay.
I ran it by my kids once or twice, and I was going to write a speech, and then I decided to just wing it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I do better winging it than I do writing things down, so...
Stop Me If You've Heard This Before on the Toddcast podcast is brought to you by Puff, purveyors of quality cannabis accessories since 1995. Use promo code TODCAST and get 20% off regularly priced accessories and apparel in-store and online at puff.ca.
Song almost has an old school Kings of Leon vibe, doesn't it? His name is J.P. Maurice, and a new song for him called Runaway, if you hadn't picked that up. You can find that on his latest album called Pressure Makes Diamonds. And no question, no pun intended here, I guess pun intended maybe, one of the jewels in Vancouver's music scene. I mean, both as a performer and as a producer. He's been doing some incredible work out of Blue Light Studio in East Vancouver for years. He actually bought into that studio after he placed second, I think it was it 2015? Anyway, it's 1027 The Peak's performance project where he won 75 grand and bought into that studio, which of course, savvy move, a brilliant move, really. And yeah, great performer as well. He's done a couple shows for the podcast over the years. Perhaps when we get things rolling again, It's happening very soon. I can't wait to announce. Maybe we'll get JP playing again. You heard Nicholas Rage, and that's a band out of Edmonton, and their song is Gravity, probably one of the best indie rock songs from last year or the year before. I guess it's almost a year and a bit old now. We're going to have their singer actually come on as a guest next month. Again, here's another band. Without question, one of the best indie rock bands in Canada, present day, of the last, you could even go back like a decade. Coming up in just a few minutes, listen to this, Black Label Society frontman Zakk Wylde talking about his time playing with Ozzy Osbourne and the key, he thinks, to longevity as a band in the music industry. That is powered by our friends at Tedco RV Supplies out in Langley. RV service and repair, ICBC accredited. Yes, they are. You can find them on Facebook and on Twitter at Tedco RV Supplies. First, the second of 3 Toddcast guests this week is our sporting guest. He is your goalkeeper for the Whitecaps FC, Thomas Hasal, which is powered by Capit Chilliwack, providing the best quality products and services for you and your truck. Tules, tonneau covers, rooftop tents, camping chairs, which are absolutely amazing. Step bars, floor liners, you name it. High quality aftermarket vehicle accessories. Find them, of course, in Chilliwack, but also online at facebook.com/ChilliwackCapit. Great to get Thomas Hasal on a Zoom call as a longtime fan of the team, the Whitecaps FC, quite literally since, I was a little kid, and it was Bob Leonarduzzi playing with those guys. Remember when they used to put out those Super Socko drinks? You remember those? Anyway, Thomas, we talked about the music that was in his house as a kid growing up. He shared a story about his grandfather, who also was a keeper in the game. We talked about goalkeepers. Now, are they just like hockey goalies where everyone says, yeah, it's a few bricks short of a load to play that position?
If you ask most people, they say, yeah. I think goalkeeper's got to be different. And for the most part, I agree. I think you diving at people's feet, putting yourself in the way of a ball. People are trying to score, trying to smash it at you, and you just got to stand there and take it. I think you got to have something different about you.
100%. Like what? How fast are those balls coming at you sometimes?
Yeah, sometimes they come pretty quick. I don't even know how.
100K, do you think?
Yeah, something like that. I think I was more into the speed and stuff when I was a kid, but I have no idea anymore. There's definitely something about you. And I've definitely known a few crazy goalkeepers.
It was a fairly quick conversation with Whitecaps goalkeeper Thomas Hasal, 15 minutes, posted now at our iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud, YouTube accounts. Again, you can find them at Toddcast Podcast. We talked about binge watching Suits, great show. Fake crowd noise at pro sports during COVID. We already talked about that. Hated it. Growing up in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, and realizing your true potential.
It was always my dream since as long as I can remember.
Yeah.
I think definitely coming on trial when I was 14 was like, wow, this could be an opportunity and that could lead somewhere one day. And then it really would have been when I was probably 15, 16, when I was like, okay, I really feel like I am good enough to get there and then progress through the stages and get to the next level.
Okay.
Obviously, there was tons and tons of work to be done through there and different steps. Coming into the academy, working through the levels, seeing what the first team was like, being with the youth national teams. And then each one of those, you're like, it's almost turning more and more into a reality. So there's a lot of different spots in your career where you think like, okay, this is definitely something you could do.
Yeah, for sure. And you credit your grandfather for kind of getting you introduced and really ramped for the sport. He was a goalkeeper as well, was he not?
Yes, he was. He was a huge soccer fan, biggest one I know. And he would always watch my games, like playing with the national team. He'd be up in Czech Republic at like 3 a.m. watching on the big screen, no matter what. And he was all in it with me. He definitely introduced me, kind of helped me get a passion for the game. And that would have been one of the best things in the world if he was able to see me play with the first team and play professionally.
I mean, we really got into it with Thomas. You'll need to listen or watch the full interview online, talking about pranks that he's been involved in, time travel, teleportation. Selena Gomez came up, so did Moon Knight and the Batman. And Thomas talked about the career highlight of playing U20 in Costa Rica.
yeah, that I think playing with the U20s in Costa Rica is one of the biggest, was a huge indicator in my career and gave me a lot of belief and confidence. I just joined the Whitecaps Academy when I was 17. And then I think 2 months came by and I went with the 18s with Canada. And then 4 months later, I was with the U20s. And I was like the youngest guy there. And it wasn't technically like my cycles in 97s, not the 99s.
Yeah.
And then my only goal, the entire, like, went home in the Christmas break, was like, set my mind on this U20s. Everything I did was all about that. Like my life was just surrounding getting into that. And then I got a call to come in out of like nowhere. Like nobody could have expected it, but it was just what I set my mind to, what I prepared for, what I did, everything I possibly could. And I put it out there to motivate myself. And then once I got into that and played down there at the qualifiers as an underage player, that gave me the belief in my career to be like, okay, well, if I can set my mind to it and I put the work in and I truly do it, then I can do it. And that's when I was like, I can make it to the first team. I can be a professional footballer. I can put my mind to something and I can do it.
Toddcast sporting guest visits are powered by Cap at Chilliwack, providing the best quality products and services for you and your truck. Online at facebook.com/ChilliwackCapit. The Toddcast podcast is powered by Milano Coffee, bringing you the finest espresso and coffee concepts in the world. Online at milanocoffee.ca. And now, listen to this on the Toddcast podcast.
Without a doubt, you could put Black Label Society frontman Ozzy Osbourne's guitarist Zakk Wylde among the most influential in rock. His work with Ozzy alone speaks volumes. Get into his stuff with Pride and Glory, of course, his current longtime band, Black Label Society. Zakk was brought into Ozzy's family when he was hired to replace Jake E. Lee. Just a monster player, one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet, one of the funniest guys you'll ever meet. If you don't already follow Zakk on social media, do that. Mention he's funny, but he's always doing goofy shit, and of course playing a ton of really cool videos as well. And last time that Zakk was a guest, we talked about the new Black Label album, Doom Crew Inc., and how it was specifically made as a double guitar album. We got him to pick his Deserted Island albums. He talked about the shows that he was binge watching. The Ronnie James Dio hologram tour came up. So did Gambling, Yacht Rock, New Wave, and Elton John, Marvel versus DC, Star Wars, and Star Trek. And Zakk talked about Black Label Society's longevity. They're coming up on 25 years as a band, and he touched on Ozzy's 1991 album, No More Tears, and what a time for music. Listen to this.
Yeah, I mean, the funny thing is I just looked at, I mean, even when we had the 20th anniversary record,
yeah,
when we did the Sonic Brew thing, it was like, you know, I have my all my old Guitar Player magazines and stuff like that from the 70s and everything like that.
Yeah.
So, but I had Keith Richards on there, probably from 76 or something, 77, whatever. It said 16 years with the Rolling Stones, Keith Richards. And I was just laughing going, now they're on 60 years, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I mean, but then, like, I mean, that was all uncharted territory. No rock bands lasted 16 years.
None, dude.
No,
like,
not even
go back to like the
10 years.
Beatles. You know, the Beatles, when they did, like, they were like, "Oh, you're 6 years in."
Yeah.
Like, did you ever dream? Same thing for Zeppelin, totally. All those guys, right?
Yeah. No, but I mean, that's what you said. Like, Zeppelin, like 12 years is a long existence for a rock band. You know what I mean? So 16. So, I mean, here's Black Label. We're on what now? 22 years, something like that. You know, so yeah, it just flies by. I mean, the No More Tears thing is 30 years ago.
I know, right?
You know, so
dude,
I mean,
so many albums came like in 1991. That was when I graduated high school in 91. And like, you know, Ozzy, Chili Peppers, Metallica, Nirvana, Pearl Jam, like huge. You look back now, and I mean, now they're considered almost classic albums.
Yeah, there was a ton of them that came out that year, for sure.
Yeah,
without a doubt.
Listen to this on the Toddcast podcast is brought to you by Tedco RV Supplies in Langley, an ICBC approved repair shop. Find them online at TedcoRVSuppliesInc.com.
Is it the beginning, or is this the end? Come a little closer, then you put me on a leash again. So take a picture and cry. A little love, a little time. So send a picture goodbye. A little love, a little time. So wear your heartbreak jewelry. Wear your heartbreak jewelry. She's falling asleep in an empty bed. The air gets cold as it starts to spread from the open window that she wouldn't close. Sleeping pills every night. It's okay, shut your eyes. A lucid dream in your mind. It's okay, shut your eyes. Sleeping pills every night. I'll be here when you change your mind. So wear your heartbreak jewelry.
hearing that one a ton on Evolution 1079 here in Vancouver. It's BCIT's campus radio station. They added that song a few months back and have it in regular rotation. The band is Gone Sugar Die, and the song is Heartbreak Jewelry. And you're only a few days away from seeing them, actually, downtown Vancouver. This Saturday, May 21st, they are playing at the Red Room. I have yet to see these guys. I want to. Not sure I can make it out to that. I've got something already planned for Saturday, but hopefully I can do some shuffling and we'll be there. Played Spendo, and their latest song is called Easy to Lie, and I believe that they made the top 3 of the Railways Battle of the Bands, and for good reason. I mean, these guys are solid band, great players, killer songs. It doesn't hurt that they're also good guys as well. They've played a couple, 2-3 shows for the podcast over the years, and if you hear of them playing anywhere near you, make the effort to be there. You will not be disappointed. Speaking of live music, find a small list of indie shows happening with the indie scene at toddhancock.ca. Shoot us the shows too if you're playing a show, maybe checking it out. If it's indie, we'll post it up at the website. That is brought to you by Mystic Rhythms Rehearsal Studios. We're talking over 40 years experience in the music industry. It's a great place to jam. Every band that I've talked to that goes there absolutely loves it. Amazing rooms and great rates. You can find out more through mysticrhythms.ca. Okay, our final guest of episode 275. Wow, chucking stones to 300. This week's entertainment and lifestyle guest is certified sex therapist Dr. Emily Jamea. That is powered by Canuck Auctions, Canada's largest memorabilia and collectibles auction house. Was in fact on their site just a few days back. So many great comic books and hockey cards and collectibles. It is truly insane. You can find them at canuckauctions.com. Now, we originally came across Dr. Jamea on Instagram. She has just a really super positive vibe. The account is really cool. She's great vibes all around. And we just thought that she'd be a really great guest. And as we do, we cover a lot of ground with Emily, like experimenting in the bedroom, gaining trust in the relationship, what to do if you're stuck in the friend zone.
Interesting. I mean, it's hard to answer without having a little bit more information, but I think I had a question come through that was kind of similar to this, that it was a guy who was so afraid of coming off as like predatory or pushy that he kind of like disconnected from his sexual energy when interacting with women. And I'm just wondering if maybe that could be what's happening a little bit here. Obviously we needed the Me Too movement, and a lot needs to change in terms of consent and patriarchy and all of those things. But I think a lot of men feel a little inhibited or scared to come off too strong. And so it's a really fine line, I think, between developing the skills you need to communicate an interest sexually and to flirt and to find banter and to make that clear for people. And so I'm wondering if maybe it's that, if that is in part what might be going on for this guy.
Could be also the other side of the coin where he's just a bit of a pushover. Like, again, we don't really know the specifics of Patrick.
Yeah, hard to say.
Here, but, maybe it's just that he needs to take the bull by the horns.
Right. And that's what I'm saying. Like, be a little more assertive, and people can be assertive and clear about their interest while also, being respectful and, maintaining boundaries. But it's something a lot of times I think people just have to experiment with, trial and error before they can find a good balance between the two.
The full talk with certified sex therapist Dr. Emily Jamea is now posted. It's close to half hour long. You can hear it. You can see it. It's another Zoom chat at our iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud, of course, our YouTube account as well. She shared a near-death story, talked about seeing Alanis Morissette and the Chili Peppers in concert. PDA came up. So did uncircumcised men. And the fact that female Viagra does not exist, although they are working on it.
I can tell you there is no such thing.
Okay.
Believe me, the pharmaceutical companies are working really hard to create a female Viagra, but there's really nothing good available on the market. There was a drug that came out a few years ago that was kind of marketed as the female Viagra. But not that many women noticed much of a positive effect from it. Plus, you couldn't have a drink if you took the medication. Plus, it was causing low blood pressure and people were passing out. So a lot of people sort of realized, maybe the benefits here aren't really worth the side effects. And we also need to be careful when we're marketing anything or describing anything as a female Viagra. What Viagra does is help a penis become erect. It works on arousal. And what I think a lot of people are wanting a female Viagra for is to boost desire, which is a little bit of a different phenomenon. And there are so many factors that affect one's desire for sex. And what we find is, you can pump a guy full of testosterone all day long. If he is too anxious, if there is too much stress going on at work, or there can just be a million things that can actually ride the effects of things like testosterone or Viagra in that guy's desire or ability to get an erection. And so you always want to ask yourself first, what could be impacting my sexual desire? Is it my individual health? Is it my mental health? Are there relationship dynamics at play that maybe aren't making me feel very attracted to my partner? Is there conflict? Am I getting adequate sleep at night? Am I getting enough exercise? Am I stressed out all the time? Is work putting a lot of pressure on me? Are kids putting a lot of pressure on me? So there could just be so many things that influence desire. And at this time, we don't have a medication that can overpower lifestyle for a lot of people. So yeah, believe me, they're working on it. But so far, we haven't struck gold.
We had a really good talk with Dr. Jamea. She brought up being interviewed for Oprah's magazine and meeting Lisa Ling. We talked about being able to see the future and the superpower of flight. The Beatles, Mick Jagger came up, binge watching Lotus and Succession, and what's the hard and fast rule about dating your friend's ex?
Oh man, that's a great question. I don't know that there's like a right answer to that. I would say you need to talk to your friend and, make sure it's not going to somehow negatively impact the friendship. If it's a really close friend, there's a good chance that they may not really feel comfortable with that. That could create some awkwardness,
at all. So.
Yeah, you may not be. Other people may have absolutely no issue with it. I think everybody is a little bit different. I always try to, I don't encourage being possessive about people and, certainly not in relationships, but sometimes things get a little awkward after a breakup. And so, you can imagine how that might feel for the ex-girlfriend and your friend. Like if the three of you were hanging out together, that might be a little bit uncomfortable. And so my advice would be to talk to your friend first and see how it would affect the friendship and how they would feel about it before making that call.
Toddcast Podcast entertainment guest visits are powered by Canuck Auctions, Canada's largest memorabilia and collectibles auction house. Find them online at canuckauctions.com.
Not ready to sing this song. They say the writing's on the wall.
Find me another band in Vancouver with riffs that are more crushing and punishing. I'll wait. The band is called Dead Quiet, and a track off their last album, I guess their latest album, called Truth and Ruin. That song is Forever Unsung, and they are currently working on new music you'll be happy to hear. Now, if you're a betting person, throw down $20 on Red that you'll hear that album probably this summer. Now, it's not 100%, but from talking with the boys, it's not a bad bet to take. Looking forward to next week. AEW wrestler Kyle O'Reilly is a guest.
I love the British Bulldogs and Hogan and Macho Man. And then, of course, Bret Hart was a huge influence on me. The Hart family in general, Owen as well. And then The Undertaker, like, he's a guy that, like, actually put, feet, like, I really believed him. Like, I know this gimmick or whatever you want to call it is ridiculous. This guy is back from the dead, but as a kid, hook, line, and sinker, I was into it and I believed it wholeheartedly. And he's another one. And then, of course, Stone Cold took my fandom to like the next level because he was really kind of just an absolute mega star at that time for me at that age of being a 12-year-old and seeing Austin come out and smash beers and beat the crap out of the boss. It was the best, right? What a time to be a wrestling fan.
Yeah, totally.
It was really pretty cool.
Yeah, we had a great talk with AEW wrestler Kyle O'Reilly, of course, a local boy. He's from Vancouver, doesn't live here anymore, he lives in Florida, but you'll hear more of that conversation next week. Next week, another Grammy Award winner, Fantastic Negrito, is on the podcast, and voiceover talent Amanda Sellers. Straight up, she is one of the best in the business. Of course, big thanks to this week's guests as well. Alex Cuba, dude, I mean, great to connect. And how crazy is it that you're the cousin of one of my longest running friends? Talk about small world. Congrats on the Grammy win. Incredible. I look forward to perhaps tipping back a couple beers one of these days. Whitecaps FC goalkeeper Thomas Hasal, thank you for taking the time to join us as well. Big fan of the team. Go Caps, go. Good luck with the rest of the season. And sex therapist Dr. Emily Jamea, same to you. Appreciate you taking the time to be a guest and keep doing what you're doing online. You have a great presence and we would love to have you back on the podcast sometime in the future. And I think that's going to do it for this one. Episode 275. Wow. My name is Todd Hancock. I say wow because, like, honestly, expected to get to maybe 20. Thank you for listening. If you like what you heard, please tell your friends. If you didn't like what you heard and you're here right now, really? Tell me and I'll fire everybody. Subscribe on iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud. We're also on YouTube. You can find all of the videos, the interviews that we do with all of our guests at our YouTube. Comment and rate the podcast. It helps out. Search it out through Toddcast Podcast. Of course, huge thanks to all of our wonderful sponsors. We couldn't do it without them. You can find links to all sponsor websites at toddhancock.ca. If you'd like to sponsor the podcast, you can for as little as $10 a day. It's cheap. It's like Porsche. Contact info is at the homepage. If you help us find a sponsor, we will give you a commission based on that ad buy. So keep that in mind. If you know business that gets outside of the box advertising, lots of social media love, let them know about us and we'll take it from there. Till next week, don't be an asshole. Nobody wants to be around that. Have fun, play hard, and most of all, believe in yourself.
The Toddcast Podcast. Keep in touch with Todd through Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and bookmark toddhancock.ca.
Hi, listeners. We want to tell you about a podcast we love. It's called Rebel Girls, formerly known as Goodnight Stories for Rebel Girls. It's about real-life women who are changing the world with their courage, creativity, and big, bold ideas. Want to know how Taylor Swift became a superstar? Or hear how Simone Biles became the greatest athlete of all time? From immersive stories to heartfelt interviews to super smart advice, Rebel Girls brings you stories that will get you fired up to become your best self. There are over 400 episodes for you to explore, with new episodes every week. So check it out. Listen to Rebel Girls wherever you get your podcasts. And find us on youtube.com/rebelgirls. And whatever you do, stay rebel.
Now, before you go hunting for something else to listen to, let me make it easy. I'm Mike Carruthers, host of a podcast called Something You Should Know, and I speak with experts about fascinating things that affect your life, from human behavior, relationships, health, science, and everyday mysteries. We've been downloaded millions of times because every episode teaches you something you'll be talking about later. Open up Something You Should Know and give it one episode. You might just find your new favorite podcast.
Oh, please, not that music. That music gives me nightmares from my childhood.
Could we get something a little bit lighter, some lighter music here?
Are you a fan of true crime TV shows?
And what about Unsolved Mysteries, the show that jump-started all of our love of true crime?
I'm Ellen Marsh.
And I'm Joey Taranto.
And we host I Think Not, a true crime comedy podcast covering some of the wildest stories from your favorite true crime campy TV shows all the way to Unsolved Mysteries.
Baby, you will laugh, you will cry, you'll think about true crime in a whole new way, and you'll also ask yourself, who gave these people mics?
New episodes of I Think Not are released every Wednesday with bonus episodes out every Thursday on Patreon.
And every Monday, you can listen to our True Crime Rundown, where we go over the top true crime headlines of the week.
So come and join us wherever you listen to your podcasts.